But it's great to see you coming back again. You've got
Thank you.
You've got a real affection for Australia, and Australia has for you, not just the expats that are here. The songs that you've been involved in and created over the years have just stood the test of time, and they're part of all our youths as well as your own. It's an incredible
power. It's kind of weird how it's sort of, because when you start off in this business, I mean, when we signed our record deal when I was 20 years of age to Chrysalis Records, you want to be there in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years time. But you know what the music business is like? It's so fickle. You often wonder, are you going to, last 5 years or 2 years, and I have to sort of pinch myself now. I've been doing this for 44 years professionally, man and boy, and it's and I remember when I was younger, when I was like early 20s, going, McCartney, Jagger, they're just old dinosaurs, man. They should give it up. And then I'm talking about 30-year-olds, and here I am at 64, and don't dare say that to me, because I'm not giving up and I'm not going away,
Fantastic.
I mean, I still, I love music, love singing. Who'd have thought we'd still be cracking it at now? I mean, and Australia was one of the first countries actually when To Cut a Long Story Short was released in 1980. We weren't that successful around the world. It wasn't really until the True album. But Story was, you guys were with us back in 1980. It was we had a nice big hit over there. And then when we first came to Australia in 1984, I think it was 84, 85, it was, it was like being in the Beatles. I mean, it was just mental.
Wow.
300 screaming fans outside the hotel, couldn't go anywhere, in the back of the car with a blanket on you. It was that crazy. It really was.
Well, I got to see you and the guys in 2015 here in Perth when Spandau came out and did RAC Arena. And what a fantastic night that was, because it had that wonderful storytelling, movies behind the stage, and soundtracks and little clips of you all saying things over, interviews over the years. And it was just a wonderful trip down memory lane for so many in that arena that night.
Yeah, it was good. It was, I mean, we've done very well in Australia. People have always loved us over there, which is thank you very much. And as a solo artist, I've been there many, many times now, more times than Spandau actually, and we just love coming over. And when I told my band, I call them the Fab TH band because they're just amazing musicians and they're great mates of mine. And I said, oh, we got a tour book for Australia. And they went, oh yeah, they were so happy because, we always have a great time over there. I remember, when we first came over when I was 24, 25, I mean, 5 guys from the Angel Islington, not the most salubrious part of London. And here we were in Australia. So in those days, people didn't go to Australia like they do now. I mean, people just hop on a plane and go anywhere. But it's always been a special place, definitely.
Well, we're really blessed because not only did Perth's first show sell out so quickly, we've got the bonus of you for the second night. So any gluttons of punishment, out you go, grab a ticket for 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, the main thing is that people come along and have a good time. That's all we want. And I'm lucky that my voice is still singing the same key. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was in Holland a couple of years ago, and the Dutch are very direct. They don't mince their words kind of thing. And the conductor came over to me, he said, you're still singing in the original key? And I said, yeah, I'm still singing the original keys. He said, but you're very old. I was like, a couple of seconds later, after a couple of expletives, quite jokingly actually, I said, no, I still sing in the original key. I still sing, Lifeline, Gold, True, Only When You Leave. And I'm lucky that I'm blessed. My voice is still in good condition. And that's down to sort of taking singing lessons and just looking after it, really, and singing all the time. I look at someone like Tom Jones. I mean, he's 83, I think he is, something like that, 83. And he still sounds $1 million because he does it all the time. Tony Bennett, I saw his last Tony Bennett shows at the Royal Albert Hall. He was 92, and I had a picture with him and my mum as well. My mum Jo was made up. and he still sounded fantastic.
Unbelievable.
I'm not going to retire, put it that way.
Have you got any pre-show warm-ups you do? Is there a routine you have, or you just give it a little bit of a warble and go?
Well, no, there's normally we try and find the nearest pub.
That's a great start.
So we have a sound check, then it's the nearest pub, and then before we go on, we don't have like a couple of glasses of wine, sit around, and then we have what is called a 99, which is basically I'm not advocating this for everybody, and don't follow in my footsteps, but we have a 99, which is basically 99% alcohol and 1% mixer, and we all stand around, and normally Adam, our keyboard player, Adam Wakeman, will do a sort of anecdotal kind of thing of the day, and then we all chink our glasses, we say a stupid load of words, put it on our head, rush to the toilet for a last-minute wee-wee, and off we go. In terms of vocal exercises, yes, there is, yes. I do. I have a whole ritual. As soon as we get the hour's nod before the show, I'm in the shower. I warm up for about 20 minutes, doing the exercises that I was taught, actually, by Pamela Dodds, an amazing Canadian opera singer, from when I was 17, 18. And so I do a whole ritual of warm-ups, and that's what keeps my voice in check. And, to any young singers out there, definitely take some singing lessons off a reputable singing teacher. It's invaluable, it really is.
Wonderful. Well, of course, we all expect to hear some of these huge anthems that we grew up with over the years, but do we get to delve into some of your solo work as well on the tour?
Yeah, we're going to be doing, I've got a new contemporary album that's as near as damn it, nearly finished. It's very nearly finished. So that'll be out sometime next year. We had a swing album out. We had a swing album out back in February when we did a swing tour, because I love Sinatra and Bennett and stuff like that, and Jack Jones. So we'll probably do a track from that called Walk of Shame, which is like a Santana-y type track. And but a couple of new songs from the new album, which is sounding brilliant. I have to say, I'm blowing my own trumpet here, but I'm very, very happy with it. And I think it's good to write new songs and make new music. I don't make any money out of it these days, but I think it's good to put it out there. And but along with True, Gold, Barricades, Only When You Leave, you name it, we'll be doing it.
Yeah. So are you a prolific writer? Do you find it easy to songwrite, or do you really have to sit down and apply yourself?
I have to sit down, really. I get ideas, so sometimes, like, the kind of new phones are great because you've got a recording thing on it, so I record ideas. I don't spend enough time, if I'm really honest, sitting down by the piano and or with guitar, and I'm not a great guitarist or pianist, I have to say. I'm terrible, but enough to write songs. Yeah, because I'm gigging all the time. I don't stop gigging, and then when I'm at home, I've got 2 young kids, and we've got 3 big kids as well. And so there's always stuff to do. There's always school runs to do. My life is pretty much like everybody else's. Can you pop down the supermarket? Can you do this? Can you do that? You haven't loaded the dishwasher properly. That thing. So it's the same for everybody. So I'm
so glad to hear that. That's put my mind at rest.
Oh, mate, and when it comes to the washing machine, I said the other day, I'm not touching it anymore, because every time I get something right, I'll do the blacks and I'll do the whites, but I'm not doing anything else. Because people out there think that we live in some sort of gilded cage, Yeah. And, I go down the pub like everybody else who was in there the other night. All right, mate, all right, Tone, And there's all the people from all walks of life in the pub. And so I like just being just an ordinary Joe.
Yeah, I bet you're barred on karaoke nights, though. He's not allowed to do any of those ones. It's Tony. I know who that is.
So a quick funny story. So we were in, well, it wasn't that funny, but we were in America doing a thing called Reborn in the USA. So I was there with Elkie Brooks, Pete Cox from Go West, Lee John from Imagination. So a load of artists. We're touring around the US doing this TV show. And I was really bored one night. I was like, I think we're in Memphis, I think it was. Memphis or Cleveland. And I said, "Come on, we're only, I want to sing. I want to have a bit of a sing-song." So we went to a karaoke bar, and we're all getting up and singing. And everyone said, "Oh, go on, Tone, sing True," because I just wanted to sing rock songs, John Cougar Mellencamp and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually, so I went, "Oh God, all right, okay, I'll get up and sing True." And this guy's turned around to the guys that I was with, turned around to Coxie and Lee John from Image, and just said, "Hey man, who's that guy think he is? Tony Hadley or something?" So I don't look that different, I don't think, but yeah. So no, I like a karaoke. It's good. I'll get up and do Suspicious Minds. It's always good fun.
Well, I saw a little bit of footage of you getting up at, was it down at Henley? Did you pop up and have a little sing-along at the front with a load of people?
When was that?
Oh, there was something popped up. You were at some, it might have been at a yacht club. It come up on social media the other week.
Yeah.
Or somewhere with a group.
Yeah, that's my mate Jeanette. She invites us to the Henley regatta. Gone dead posh. Of
course.
And so she said to me, "Oh, would you get up and do a couple of songs?" And we were raising money for charity, so we got people bidding for me to get up and sing. So we were all pissed. I mean, we're all, but it was good fun. Great fun, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, while I've got you, there's two questions I'd love to talk about before I lose you. The first is, I've done nearly 200 interviews now, and you're the first person I've got to talk to about Live Aid, which I remember vividly in 1985, especially when Quo came on. I think I sat and watched nearly the whole day. What were your memories of that day? Because that was just an incredible logistical, it could have been a logistical nightmare, but it just seemed so smooth.
Yeah. Well, it was connected. I mean, when you think of it, it's Britain, America, Australia, Africa, places South America. I mean, the whole world was being connected by satellite technology. Now, you're talking about 1985. I mean, we live in a world now where you're in Oz and I'm in UK, and we can talk in real time. That was breakthrough. Whether this was going to work or not, nobody really knew, if I'm honest. And there were a lot of moments where people were really panicking. From an artist's point of view, it was bloody nerve-wracking because we realised how big this had become. We were playing to the whole world, 80,000 people in Wembley. The sun was shining. You didn't want it to cock up. You didn't want the satellites to break. You wanted to make sure you did a great performance. And talking about Quo, I mean, when I was on stage with Janice Long, because I wanted to see the first act, which was Francis and Rick, who, bless him, Rick, lovely fella. And we were on the side of the stage and we looked out to the right and there was 80,000 people. The sun was shining. And I looked at Janice and went, wow, this is amazing. And then they started rocking all over the world. Yeah. And we looked at each other and literally the hairs on the back of your neck went up. And we just said, this isn't a case. This is an event no one's going to forget. And it was fantastic. My heroes were there, people that I'd watched on Top of the Pops when I was a kid, Freddie Mercury and the boys, David Bowie, Phil Collins, all these people that I looked up to as a kid. And here they were going, all right, Tone. I'm going, yeah, all right, Phil,
And Phil wasn't happy with one show. He had to go and fly over to Philadelphia.
He had to go and do another one. Greedy sod, yeah. But, do you
remember who was either side of you that day?
I haven't got a clue. Have not. I honestly, we were so nervous. The day just went. It was a blur. I mean, I remember going in to see Freddie and the boys and saying, good luck, Fred, because I knew him and I'm a massive Freddie fan. He gave me a lot of advice as a young singer. He was a very lovely, lovely man. But the whole of them, the whole band are amazing. And I remember that. To be honest, no. It was one of the most exciting but nerve-wracking days in my life, and it just went like that. Yeah. And I've told this story before, but everyone thinks that, they go rock and roll, sex, drugs and rock and roll and stuff. After the gig, we all went to Legends nightclub, most of the artists, and we were absolutely exhausted. I think mentally, just the event of the day. I remember sitting next to Brian May, and I just looked at him. I said, Brian, I don't know about you, mate, but I'm absolutely knackered. He went, yeah. I said, I think I'm going to go home in a minute. He said, yeah, I think I will too. So there we were, because the public would think that we'll be going raving and, partying. It's a bit like being a boxer. If you let the nervous energy get too much, after 1 minute, you can't hold your hands up anymore. And I think the event of the day just took over. But it was incredible. It was amazing.
It's unbelievable. And it's something that stays with everyone that's got a love for music for the rest of their lives. It was an imprint as a 15-year-old kid seeing that. It was just unbelievable. And to see, as you say, so many heroes and legends of so many different genres just all fit together. It was fabulous.
It was just an incredible day. I mean, and also, I mean, from a different perspective, it was the first time that music, I think, had made a big, big difference, with Band Aid and Live Aid in terms of focusing on another part of the world, Ethiopia, where there's a huge famine. And for me, music really did something rather than just, walking around all fluffy and lovely and being a bunch of pop stars. I think we made a difference. And we sort of galvanized the world to say, well, there are problems outside of our own comfort zone in the UK or US or Australia. And I think it was brilliant, amazing.
Well, it must have been legendary because Sir Bob got away with saying the F word on telly and no one raised an eyebrow.
No, he did, didn't he? Yeah. Well, Bob always, you want to see him in concert now. But no, you think he used one F word then. I was doing a festival with Bob just recently. We hadn't seen each other in a while. And it was great to see him, and he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
Brilliant. Well, the very last thing I'd love to ask you about is probably one of the greatest songs ever written, Through the Barricades, which is, I sometimes have a cheeky couple of 99% alcohol, 1% mixes and warble that very badly on the karaoke. But when that song came into the studio, was it a very raw version of that, or did you have to do much as a band to make it that incredible anthem that it was?
It was. I remember when Gary brought it along to the rehearsal room. It was a folk song, really. I mean, if you listen to it, it's very folky. And so the beginning bit, Mother don't know where love has gone, that whole verse section was pretty much as is. And then when it gets to the buff, duff, digga, digga, oh, turn around. And that's when that's when everybody comes in. And that whole end section took a lot of arrangement. Then we had the military drums on the end and everything, and the beautiful da-da-da, the piano bit. So that took quite a lot of working out. But the verses themselves were pretty much as is. And it's my favourite song. It's the one that I always think is the pivotal one in the middle of the set. You sort of work up to Barricades. And it's the one song also that I think emotionally people talk about True and Gold and everything else, but that's the one song that will get people a little bit upset, because it's Romeo and Juliet, it's love across the divide. We still live in a fractured world. So in terms of lyrics, it's still really poignant, it's still got a lot of relevance. Yeah. And it's just a beautiful song to sing because you got the soft bits and then I get to rock out of the at the end. So it's kind of cool.
It's goosebumps every time. Every time I hear it, goosebumps. Even talking about it, I've got goosebumps talking about it.
Oh, thank you. That's really lovely.
Song ever written. I love it.
I can get I've got quite emotional singing that song a few times. We very sadly lost one of our dear fans, and it was on the last tour that I did before the Swing tour, and we had all the friends were there and stuff. And the girls started holding up pictures of while I was doing Through the Barricades. I got upset singing it because it's such an emotional song anyway. It's the wobbler. That's the wobbler song.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I don't know how long we've probably only got a couple of minutes to go. I'd just love to finish off with a couple of general questions.
I'll ask you what you want.
My restaurant question. If you could invite 3 musicians, dead or alive, to join you for a bit of dinner, who would you have sat with you for the evening?
Oh, well, Frank Sinatra would be one of them, 100%. Freddie, because he was just lovely, lovely fella and so entertaining. And a third person, do you know what? Alice Cooper, because he's such a funny guy and such a lovely guy.
And another man who's got a big affection for Australia. He loves coming down here on tour.
Yeah, well, I've toured with Alice in South America with John Anderson and Alan Parsons. We did an orchestral tour. Bit of a weird combination, but it worked. And Alice Cooper, what a top bloke! I mean, he's a really good guy. Yeah, so I'd say Alice Cooper, Frank Sinatra, Freddie Mercury.
Great.
There's a million others I could throw in there, but probably those three.
Great table. Listen, in a world that we get sucked into playlists, what's the last album you listened to?
The last album would be Zara Got Me Up to Olivia Rodriguez, which is a great album. New album's very good. Sam Fender.
Ah, yes.
I'm a big Sam Fender fan, and I listen to his music a lot. I think because he's got that Springsteen influence, and I'm a massive Springsteen fan. Oh. And I just think he's, for me, what I love about Sam Fender, you put the record on, you know it's Sam Fender because his voice is unique. Yeah. And that's what I love about singers. I like the fact that, you know, Simon Le Bon, Duran Duran, you know it's Duran, you know it's Midge, you know it's Geldof, you know it's... Do you know what I mean? And so for me, Sam Fender is one of the few modern singers that I can go, that's Sam Fender. And also I thought he came across as a brilliant guy because at the Brit Awards, you know, he could have gone up there as Sam Fender and gone, yeah, look at me, I'm wonderful, I'm wonderful. And he brought up his band. And for me, I thought that was really, you're a good guy.
Yeah, brilliant.
So,
fantastic.
And his album's brilliant. I love it.
I'll check it out after this interview when we hang up. The very final question, if you could be credited with writing any song ever written, what song would you choose?
Oh, wow. Oh, there's so many. That's a tricky one, that. Any song. Oh, probably Through the Barricades, actually.
I'll tell Gary you've got it for 24 hours.
Yeah, throw that curveball in.
Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to get to chat to you.
Thanks, mate.
Can't wait to see you when you get to the Astor. I think we're going to try and come to the Saturday show to review it and grab some photos and hopefully get to say hello. Wishing you a fantastic rest of the year and a safe journey.
Yeah, happy Christmas, happy New Year. I'll see you.
Yeah, Christmas will only be a week away. Christmas will be a week away.
You what, mate?
Christmas will be a week away, the way the year's going.
Oh, don't even go there. It's like as if Christmas was yesterday. But even my 12-year-old, my little Genevieve, I said to her, do you think this year's gone quick? She said, yeah. She said, Dad, it's just flown by. It's too fast. I'm trying to calm things down a bit. That's not to say I'm working all the time. I'm never going to retire. But just to slow it down a bit, God, it's just does my head in. But hey-ho, is what it is.
But mate,
well, I'll see you for a beer.
Definitely. And I want to try some of the 99% things on my head. Just, I might try it before an interview every time now.
It's good. It's good. Good for the blood. Good for the blood.
Tony, it's been great to chat to you. Thank you so much. And have a safe rest of the week and speak to you January, February time. Yeah, and you. Take care, will you? Thanks very much. Great interview. Thank you. Cheers. See you, mate. Bye. Bye.